The Film Crickets are intended for mature audiences. Any guests on the Film Crickets do not necessarily share the same opinions as the Film Crickets.
Film Crickets, chirping about movies.
It's time for the Film Crickets with Jay Fortier, Chris Martineau, and Melanie Howerton. On this week's episode, Jay, Chris, and Melanie review the 1991 American comedy film, What About Bob?
Why don't I start?
Why exactly are you doing this?
The simplest way to put it, I have problems.
So the real question is,
Does it stand the test of time? Let's find out. Your Film Crickets are on now.
I see what you did there.
Good job, Steve. Steve Lavoie, our man.
Oh, boy.
That hooks us up every week or every time we do a show. Hello, everybody. My name is Jay Fortier. This is the Film Crickets. I'm along with my good friends and co-hosts, Chris Martineau and Melanie Howerton.
Hi.
Oh, hey, we're good at that. We put the band back together, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was a Hoyton. See, I work also on the weekends.
Yeah.
And I work at the same place that my wife works at on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't work on the weekends. She works Monday through Friday. But she can cover for me while I'm working.
Okay.
If I'm sick.
Sure.
She seems to be one of the only people that can. Like, it's like a weekend? I ain't working.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, all right, Jay, I'll step up for you.
Yep.
Right? So she worked all weekend for me a couple of weeks ago while you guys were about to do Frequency, and and I wasn't feeling well. I had a fever on the Saturday, and then we always record on Sunday. It had broken by Sunday, but I was still not well.
Sure.
Either way, I wasn't going to go, thank you for working for me. I'm going downstairs to do a podcast.
Oh, sure. Of course.
Yeah.
No.
Life happens.
That's all good.
It's like, you worked all weekend for me. Now I have to go do some business.
Yeah,
It's like,
business.
no, you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go have some fun.
Yeah.
Doing the podcast. I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
That's okay. You got to rest anyway, right? So it's all
I did watch
good.
Frequency. It was a lot of fun.
It's good.
Yeah.
It is a good movie.
Yeah.
I can legit recommend that. I don't often recommend a lot of movies that we watch.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if you want to. It's good. It's fun.
The ultimate question today, besides does it hold up, is Chris the humorless git?
I could be.
Okay.
I could be.
I have an idea for us.
No, I didn't even hear what you just said.
Another
What did you
bumper.
say?
So what we're wondering here is we watched this quote unquote comedy film.
Yeah.
What About Bob? And Jay is wondering if I'm going to be yet again another humorless git, and whether I'm going to think it's funny or not.
Okay.
And I have thoughts. I have some thoughts.
I have an idea for another bumper.
Sure.
For humorless git.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're something in the works?
I don't have it made yet, but
Okay.
all
right.
I have something funny.
You humorless git. Yeah. Well. But the movie we're watching this week is What About Bob? And directed by Frank Oz. So Frank Oz has done a lot of really, really good movies, I think. And only one that's coming to mind, I can't think of his entire filmography, but he did In and Out, which I think is a great movie. That's one with Kevin Kline. He may or may not.
At least you think it was.
What?
At least you remember it being.
Oh, no, I watched it recently. It's good.
Okay.
It's good. No, it's still good.
Chris doesn't laugh anymore.
Yeah, I know. These friggin' movies. So our assignment this week was What About Bob, right? And I remember I saw this back in the day. I thought it was really funny. I don't know how many times I've watched it since. So let me just tell you our history here. Kind of go around the room. What's your history with What About Bob? No, I saw it in the theater. Big Dreyfuss fan. Big Bill Murray fan. At least back in the day I was. And I saw it in the theater, and I probably rented it once. And then I have not seen it since. So good 1993 or 4 was the last time I saw this movie. Anybody else? Jason, when was the last time you saw What About Bob? What's your history of What About Bob?
Somewhere in the 90s.
See it once, twice, high rotation? What's your deal?
Oh, okay. I saw it probably on video first.
Okay.
And then maybe 2 or 3 times. Tops.
Remember, back in the day in movies when you went to a theater and this was what was in the theater?
Yeah.
What are the chances of seeing What About Bob now? Nil. They don't make these movies anymore. So for that reason, they really don't.
You know what? I'm noticing comedies tend to just be made for streaming networks.
Comedies are made for streaming networks, or if there's a comedy in the theater, it's like an assassin in a funny situation. Why do all comedies in the theater have to have someone that's armed? Like, that's the joke. Like, he's off on a faraway adventure, or I should say, he's off with his, he's off with his family at a resort community in the Bahamas, but he's secretly an assassin, and terrorists are coming in, and hilarity ensues while he kills a bunch of people. That's seriously it. So, all right. So, Jay saw it a while ago. Melanie, what's your deal? Mom probably saw this a bunch.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I just don't remember when or anything. I've seen it a bunch of times.
Okay.
I have no idea when I first saw it or how many times I've seen it. Honestly, I'm clueless about it. I do remember seeing it not too long ago, maybe a couple years ago or something.
Okay.
I don't own it on DVD.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Wow. Surprise.
That's all I can say.
That's crazy. Did you do in your TMI breakdown in your research for this film? Do we have
a lot for that?
Do we have anything on the relationship between Richard Dreyfuss and?
I have a lot of that.
Good,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That was the thing.
That's like mostly the trivia is all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what. As I'm watching it, it's hard for me not to think about that and how much like Bill Murray kind of pisses me off now a little bit because he's kind of a jackass, and like Chevy Chase is like not a nice guy at all, and Dreyfuss is really tough to work with. What's the matter, Jay?
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bill Murray,
I've heard he's not like pleasant either.
No.
So no, but like
Sorry.
you're asking like it's like oil and water, I guess. Like like if. And I haven't really heard much, but I'm just saying, like, that's my guess looking at it going, oh.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah,
all right.
I got some good stuff on that. I don't know if you read all of it on that, but I
read some, and it's something. So, all right, let me do the breakdown here. So we've got What About Bob? Came out in 1991 and is rated PG. Which is strange because of the cursing scene with the little boy there, but comes in an hour 39 minutes, so perfect runtime. And the rundown is a successful psychotherapist loses his mind after one of his most dependent patients, an obsessive compulsive neurotic, tracks him down during his family vacation. Directed by Frank Oz, written by Alvin Sargent, Laura Ziskin, and Tom Schulman, starring top of the bill Bill Murray, Richard Dreyfuss, Julie Haggerty, and not many other people to note except for this kid Charlie Korsmo, who is currently working for the government. And he has like a jurisprudence. He has a JD in he's a doctoral of like military justice. Like he's something.
He was in Can't Hardly Wait, and he was in Hook.
He was in Hook.
Well, you know the daughter in it. The daughter. I remember looking at her and I was like, there's no way in hell that's a teenager. And I looked her up and she was around 25.
Yeah, 25.
She's
and then
10 years
she was
younger.
in The Wife in Star of Echoes.
Yes. And she's 10 years younger than Julie Haggerty.
That's crazy.
Oh, really?
That's crazy. Was she supposed to be a teenager?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Does not come across as...
Kind of like an older teenager.
I know, like maybe 18, 19, but still, like, does not coming across as teenager. Anyway, so what about Bob? So let's talk about What About Bob. First of all, we have to get over the fact that it's Elf adjacent. I mean, it's basically Elf, but without being magical. He's annoys Dreyfuss because of who he is, but everyone else loves him for who he is. And everyone else is patient with him, except for Dreyfuss, who's kind of the father figure in the situation, much like Elf is. So it was hard for me not to think about Elf, even though this movie came first. So did Elf steal from this, or at least do you agree the vibes are the same?
That's a good point that you said that, because I wasn't thinking that, but yeah, 100% like Elf. And I know this is nothing like it, but it reminded me, and again, it's not the same movie, but it reminded me of Meet the Parents in a way where you can see Ben Stiller is like so aggravated and all the humiliation, all the stuff that he's going through, and no one else sees that. So it kind of reminded me of that, because you see Richard Dreyfuss and you see that his like everything is just building up on him, and he just can't stand anything anymore, and everybody around is just fine, and they're all happy.
Right.
You know?
They all want to help the nice man who seems to have some issues. But that's where I want to get into it, because
very dangerous, like really.
So Bill Murray's got problems. He's been divorced, and he has all of these issues that he says he has every possible phobia. He's codependent. Even though his agoraphobia seems to go away, he can leave his apartment at some point.
Yeah.
But so he's got problems, and he obviously doesn't listen to people and doesn't take any social cues when he's doing something that's aggravating people. But is he at fault for anything? I mean, he's kind of a narcissist. Like, Dreyfus accuses him of being a narcissist, and he is. He actually is doing things that are not healthy, i.e., he poses as a murder investigator to try to break client-doctor confidentiality so he can figure out where Dreyfus is when he goes on vacation. Now, so there's this scene where he comes in, the answering service won't tell Bill Murray where Dreyfus is moved to for his vacation because Bill Murray is obviously codependent. He finds a new person that he can finally vent to because he doesn't have anybody else except his goldfish. And he feels... Because
his last psychiatrist quit, most likely because of him. I picked that up on this
right,
time.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm free, is what he says, right?
Yeah.
So he wants to go do that, but he kind of lies in order to get his way. Isn't that kind of stalkery? Isn't that kind of dangerous? I don't know.
Well, also, he doesn't even know him that well. He doesn't even know how dangerous the guy really is or could be. And he's around his whole family.
Right.
I mean, he's not, but you never know.
Right.
I mean,
that's what I mean. I'm not taking away it wasn't handled properly. It's a comedy. Like, relax. It's actually, I think in the description it says it's a farce, which it is. But that's not like, if you're trying to get me to empathize with Bill Murray like the rest of the Dreyfus's family empathizes with him, then he's not likable sometimes. Like, he does things that are obviously not okay. And
I think they're looking at him like he's just a big kid, right?
Yeah, but he's not. Right. He's a grown man.
I think we're supposed to go on this journey where we feel both nervous for Richard Dreyfuss, but the family is giving us the cue.
Yeah.
By how easily they're accepting him.
Right.
Like, it doesn't take long before they're going, oh, that's just Bob. We love Bob. He's a lot
of fun. What about Bob?
And I don't think we ever feel totally, because the family keeps feeling this way, I think we're okay with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, he's this big threat.
I don't think he's a threat, right. but I think the film asks us, while Elf, you're behind, I'm going to keep talking about Elf. You're behind him 100%. Because it's more magical, right? And you can get behind Bill Murray actually feeling happy about himself when he does make these strides. He's actually able to go on a boat, even though he gets duct taped to it. He is able to dive, and he can kind of get over his own fears, which we want as a person. However, when he's eating the corn at the dinner table, like, everyone should be annoyed by that. Like, everyone should be annoyed by that. And I found...
Well, they were just laughing.
I know, but and that's... If someone just invited themselves over, or not even invited themselves over, but I don't know, like, I would be uncomfortable with how comfortable he's being as a guest in my house. Am I Dreyfus here? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, wait a minute, am I a prick? Like, there is a level of decorum as an adult that you want to expect, and while you want to help Bill Murray out, Bob, you want to help Bob out because you understand he has issues. The family doesn't know he has issues. He just seems lovable. I was just having a hard time. I think I was on board with Bob the first time I saw it more, but then I can see why Dreyfus is annoyed with him. Now it goes to the next level where he tries to commit him and tries to murder him, which is a turn, right? It's hard to get behind somebody that wants to murder this person.
Because he was like, I don't get upset. I don't get upset. Yeah. He's like, you're mad. He goes, I'm not mad. He goes, well, you're upset. He goes, I don't get upset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he obviously has his own issues, right? And he does not follow his...
He's also quite full of himself.
He's totally full of himself because he's had a lot of success. I think it's great. A lot of subtlety in this, and Dreyfus does such a good job. He's a jerk. He does such a good job in the movie. When he's in the doctor's office, he's at his office in the beginning of the movie, and he's like,
oh my God, you're going to say what I thought.
I have this book. I wonder where it is. And there's just an absolute, a shelf of yellow books. Like, oh, here it is. It's like, you bastard.
And he kind of almost acted like he didn't write it in a way when he was doing that.
Yeah, and he charges him for it, which you saw coming.
But you know what? I want to say what's kind of funny about that is when he was like, "What if I have a heart attack or whatever?" And he or something like that, and he falls on the floor and he's pretending he's having a heart attack, and Richard Dreyfuss's face is just sitting there. He doesn't even flinch, and then he goes, "Are you married?"
Yeah. Well, he
doesn't even flinch. I just thought that was so funny.
He's doing the therapist, trying to do the talking cure of let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? Well, tell me about your wife.
Talk about that. Talk about that.
And the thing is that which is weird because this film doesn't really do a lot for the mental health industry, because if he's a psychiatrist, you don't do the talking cure. If you're a psychiatrist, Richard Dreyfuss can prescribe medication, and psychiatrists don't do the Freudian, tell me how you're feeling. Let's work through your anxieties. Psychiatrists just go, oh, you have a medical imbalance. I'm going to give you Prozac, Adderall, whatever. So they're mixing their metaphors a little bit here.
It's also a 5-minute appointment that he probably charged like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for.
That's kind of standard.
For doing like literally zero. He did nothing.
But if you look, I've done some therapy in my time, like some talking cure therapy back in the day, and literally it's not that I'm minimizing it a little bit. It's important if you need to do it. There's no doubt about it. But a lot of it is like, well, let's work through how you're feeling about that. Just be honest. Tell me. And it's just somebody to talk to that isn't your usual people. But Dreyfuss isn't. Yeah. He's a psychiatrist, which is different. So then mixing that up left and right. And his little puppet cure is hysterical. I love that shit. Oh, my God. It's like he does his little. That's how he has to interact with his family. That's how he has to be honest. Yeah. It's through puppets. So at least with Bob's being honest. At least, even though it's really annoying and kind of stalkery, he's at least honest, whereas Dreyfuss has to use all these little like head game devices in order to get the truth out of his family. And his family's probably scared to tell the truth because he's probably kind of, like I said, self-absorbed and probably flies off the handle and whatnot.
Well, I think Bob is a relief to the family.
Yes.
I think because he's so opposite of Dad. Dad is a stiff.
What?
Right? So,
here's the thing. Like the 90s, there's nothing wrong with being a stiff. Like he's not Dreyfuss isn't a bad guy.
No, but obviously it is with the family because none of them want to hang out with him.
Well, he's too serious.
Okay.
No, I'm serious.
Doesn't know how to relax and have fun.
Son won't go in the water for Richard Dreyfuss. Yeah. He goes in the water for Bob. Yeah.
But that's what he needed, though. He didn't need to be told to go in the water. He wanted somebody to act more afraid than him so he could act like he was, let me show you how to do it, kind of a thing. So I think what he needed at that point was kind of what Bob did.
But if Dreyfuss maybe just doesn't have the mechanisms to be that person, do we have to hold him at fault for that? Like, no, he just can't do it. Is that bad?
No, but like what I'm saying is that's got to be a difficult thing to be. I'm not saying that everyone has the same problem, but I bet you it is a tough road being in a house with someone whose profession is analyzing everyone else.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, and what I'm saying is every argument you're in,
sir. Oh, boy, let me tell you.
But everyone who's in an argument with him is got to feel like he's analyzing the shit out of everything you're saying. Right.
You're giving me PTSD, sir. All right, sorry, continue.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
It's tough. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And I know they just kind of look at him like he's another kid. Like when they were playing in the room when he slept over that night, which was just so funny. He's out there waiting for the rain to stop. Like, please stop. Just wanted to get rid of him so bad. But then she was like, oh, it's just kids being kids or boys being boys or whatever she says, something like that.
Yeah, but that's
because he gives off that vibe. Remember behind the pillow?
Yeah.
Yes, that was so funny, that part.
I mean, it's just. But Dreyfuss isn't a good guy. You wanna. What the hell's his name? Dr. What?
Oh, what is his name?
Marvin?
Leo Marvin.
All right. So it's tough because should he be villainized? Yeah, I guess. It seems like Bob does this to everybody. See the other psychiatrist that he had. He kind of like ruined his life because he's so codependent and because he needs help all the time.
No, I would be like, I would be more like Leo Marvin because the whole time I could feel his pain. Especially when he's like his entire career has been looking forward to this interview, that the people were coming to his house and he was so worried about, what should I wear? How should the bus look in the back of the fireplace? He wants everything perfect. He didn't want him there. And I understand how that is when you have something in your head and you want it to go a certain way. And everything is in your head planned, and then all of a sudden you can't get rid of this person in your house, and it's like, screw it. And then he made him look like an idiot. Like, he couldn't even sit in his chair. He's sitting in this little wooden chair. His whole family loves him. He's not being able to say anything that he needs. He's like, oh yeah, I'm totally cured. It's been 3 or 4 days. He's like, the book is not meant to work that quick. So it's just literally every single thing he was choking on. Like, I could, in that moment, I was like, oh my God, I would be crazy. And everyone's like, oh, you saved him. Dad choked. It's like, he choked because he was there. He would have been fine if he wasn't. Yeah. It's like it was a huge thing in his career. So no, I totally get it.
I would have, and it doesn't help the character at all. But if I were in the same situation, I'd be like, this guy's got to get out of my house. He cannot stay here. I don't care that it's raining. I know I seem like a jerk. And that's when you pull your wife aside. I said, you got to give me some support on this. I can't. It's freaking me out. It's messing everything up in my head. It's making me nervous. He's got to go. You want to drive him somewhere? Great. You want to give him some hotel money? Great. You want to give him an umbrella and buy him dinner? Go for it. But you got to support me on this, even if you disagree with me, even if you think I can't do this right now. But that's not a movie.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's not a movie.
It's not a comedy. So
it just, that to me.
But that's why, like, it does remind me of Meet the Parents in a way. Not really but you know what I'm saying? Like, where you can feel like everything going wrong in Ben Stiller's head and he's going crazy, but everybody is like super happy and everything's fine for everybody. It's great. Yeah. Why didn't you wake me up? I'm in my pajamas in front of all these people that are, do you know what I mean? Just all the embarrassing things that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, yeah. And it just, at that point in the movie, we're in Act 3, where Dreyfuss is now actively losing his mind. He's actively like going crazy. He's trying to put an innocent man and have him committed to an institution, which I think is one of the better moments.
Laughing like a hysterical person on the way.
I love that moment in the film. Honestly, I think that was neat. It kind of vindicates that, Bob is probably fine, even though, again, he stalked that man. He stalked Leo.
Yeah.
But he turns everybody in the mental asylum, or not the asylum, but the hospital, turns them to his side, which...
He's probably super needy. He doesn't have any friends, and it doesn't seem like he has family. Yeah. So maybe he's just longing to be with people. I don't know.
He puts him...
Once he does end up with the sister...
Yeah, well, I mean, it could have been a desperation thing, not stalker, like, necessarily. Yeah. Like, yes, the thing is, in its base stalkery, but I'm saying I don't think it was done with ill intent. I think it was desperation.
Yeah.
Like because he just had that he was at this level of panic. Like, remember the bus goes by and he falls to the ground?
Yeah.
Or a big vehicle, a trash truck or something goes by when he comes out of his house.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Next thing you know, he's flat on the ground, like so you know what I mean? Like, he's better by Act 3, when he's telling the jokes at the like, he's better mentally.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. By then he has had a bit of a journey.
And now he's a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Right. But no, but like, coming up is my favorite part that I remember from back then, and it is still my favorite part of the whole film, and that is when Richard Dreyfuss slams on the brakes, gets out of the car, goes and opens the door, and can't even articulate to say
a sentence.
Get out of the car. He goes, get out of the car.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And he's that pissed that his mouth won't even work.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does. When he's losing his mind during the interview, I love seeing Dreyfuss lose his mind. He's really, really good at it. The scenes that, like I said, he's good, and every time he does it, he did it in Jaws. He's done it in Down and Out in Beverly Hills, probably Krippendorf's Tribe, which does not age well. Not so much Mr. Holland's Opus, but
that other movie that he was in, Another Stakeout, was funny too.
Oh, the Stakeout he does freak out quite a bit in Stakeout. I don't remember much about Another
Stakeout. I like that one better. I just remember.
The movie I saw? With him in it, I saw it in the theater because I used to see movies all the time at the mall. So it's not like I went, oh, I really want to see this movie. Moon Over Parador.
Oh, sure, I remember that. Yeah, it's been a while.
Like played a dictator or something. Like he posed as a dictator.
Yeah. So he does such a good job with it, and I know he's really difficult to work with. But here's the thing. I don't know how much I buy into the fact that he turns into a raving lunatic. Like, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny, but murder? Blowing somebody up with black powder, breaking into the local hardware store, bringing someone to in the middle of the woods, tying them up, and then eventually...
Death therapy.
Yeah, death therapy, which is a funny line. And the thing is, it's outlandish that anybody would get to that point. But he does a really good job doing it. Like, I believe him when he's doing it, even though it's not a thing. That's not going to happen.
He's never gone.
Yeah, see?
Yes. And there he is. And then he shows up right behind them.
The tones that he uses during that are so good that they use it in the trailer.
Yeah, no, he's real good at it, and I know that part of.
And I love those two old people that hate him.
Yes.
Because he was like, let me show you where he lives. Let me drive you to his house. You can stay with us.
Yeah.
And then when they were trying to when he was trying to show his son how to swim and he drops him in and then the old people are yelling at him. And then when he finally does dive, they're all like clapping like, good job, and then when the house blows up, they're like laughing hysterically. It's like...
That son of a bitch. She never says that. And then she says it again another 2 minutes later. She never says that.
Yeah.
So eventually, Dreyfus he blows up his house because Bob brought the black powder that Leo was going to kill Bob with. Bob makes it out, puts the packages in the house. Was there a detonator on it? I missed.
I don't know. I know it had a timer on it when it was going to blow up. But he got out of the ropes in time. He went into the house and he's coming out with the cake. And then he was like, where's those bags that you had around your neck? He's like, I put them in the house. Why? It's like...
So he has his house...
I have a quick question. Yeah. Was the goldfish in the house?
That's...
Oh, right.
We suddenly don't care.
It had to have been in there. Where the hell was the goldfish?
We lost the goldfish after a while. I mean, I know that's cute and all, but...
That's true, yeah.
So his house blows up and he officially loses his mind. And again, what happens at the end of the movie is, I guess Bob is cured. Dreyfus is now crazy. And Bob is now married Leo's Dreyfus, his sister.
Yeah.
And the last thing we see is him in a robe, in a wheelchair,
at the wedding,
in a church, catatonic. I don't know that you become catatonic. But whatever. But then he's cured. What does he say? What cures him?
He says no.
Oh, yeah. So
because they're like, if anybody has any words now that, whatever.
So,
but he was just like a second too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now pronouncing man and wife. No.
I guess my issue. I think go ahead.
Oh,
go.
I just think it was funny, like at the end when it was like the end, how, the look on his face when Bob comes over and gives him a kiss.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks at him like, oh, well, I guess I got to put up with this because he's never leaving my family now. Like,
right.
I just got to get used to it or whatever. And then it was like that he went to school to be a psychiatrist and wrote a bestseller called Death Therapy. And then it says Leo is suing him for the rights.
Right. Now, I know that's funny and I know that it's supposed to be lighthearted, but and I'm glad you brought it up because I saw that scene and I'm glad you brought up the look on Leo's face. It was kind of like a womp womp. What are you going to do? And
right, exactly.
To me, I wasn't buying that because I don't know what else you do. But he blew up his house. He's catatonic. He was in basically some weird coma. And finally, we have this resolution. And the best we get is, oh, well, I think
it's because he's already gone through hell. He was in a psychiatric ward. He could have lost his family. He could have lost his life. And now he's like, okay, well, I've already lost enough. So I just got to get used to this. I want my family back. I want my wife back. I want my kids back. You know what I mean? Like, I got my sister. I have my sister with me. Things could be worse. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
And they just didn't want to take it past comedy. Like they wanted to like, this is a fun movie no matter where we go. I know he almost tried to kill him, but let's laugh it off. I
wonder if, because when you make a movie, you obviously have a lot of takes. And all right, well, give me this, right? So they had that last scene with Dreyfus and, like I said, that face. I wonder if like one of the takes was him like kind of like openly weeping, but in a funny way, like a like that.
Yeah.
Like, because you can make that's if you do it right, crying can look funny.
For sure.
So like, I wonder if that was one of the takes. That I would have bought that more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And scene. But I'm just saying, like, I wonder if I just wasn't buying that last bit. But again, that's me being a curmudgeonly old prick. You know, I just, I don't like that.
Never crapper.
I don't like that. But I don't know. That's it. That's all I kind of say about that. Apparently, there's a lot of TMI.
Yeah, I've got, some stuff, yeah.
All right, I'd love to hear it.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
It's time for TMI with Melanie.
Listen to this. I am in the bathroom right before the movie starts. And I'm in the stall, and there's no toilet paper.
And mine are at home in a display case above my bed. TMI, my friends.
It's just TMI. Too much information. Don't go there, but that's lame.
Now, here's Melanie with your timeless movie info.
Hey, Melanie, give it to us in baby steps.
Okay. Baby step to my piece of paper.
Yep.
Baby step to... Okay. The budget was $39 million. It grossed $63.7. Robin Williams was actually the first choice for the role of Bob, as he had been nominated for an Oscar for his performance for the Dead Poets Society. However, at the time of filming was to begin, he had just finished filming The Fisher King, and he had to turn it down the role. I could kind of picture him doing that, though. Mm-hmm. You know?
Fisher King was amazing.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's not easy to watch,
Nope.
but it's amazing.
Okay, The Vacation House was filmed in Virginia on Smith Mountain Lake. The scenes in downtown Lake Winnipesaukee were filmed along Old Monetta Road in Monetta, Virginia. Mm-hmm. The part of town has long been abandoned and is now completely unrecognizable. The asylum where Dr. Marvin tries to have Bob committed is actually the Elks National Home in Bedford, Virginia. Every year at Christmas, the front lawn is lit with thousands of Christmas lights and draws nearly 100,000 spectators from the surrounding areas. When Faye Marvin was tucking in Bob and her son for the night, for the sleepover, she holds the sheets up to allow Bob to climb into his bed. Bill Murray improvises and crawls under the sheets head first, making her laugh. So that was just real. Mm-hmm. Bill Murray said that this film is entertaining. Everybody knows somebody like Bob. Richard Dreyfuss and I did not get along on the movie, but it worked for us. I mean, I drove him nuts and he encouraged me to drive him nuts. Richard Dreyfuss said that Bill Murray was an Irish drunken bully. After an ashtray throwing incident, when they were filming, Bill got drunk and he came back from dinner one night and I said to him, "Read this script tweak. I think it's really funny." And he put his face next to me, nose to nose, and screamed at the top of his lungs, "Everybody hates you. You are tolerated." Murray then leaned back and took a modern glass-blown ashtray, threw it at my face, only a couple of feet away. It weighed about 3/4 of a pound. He missed me, and then he tried to hit me. I got up and left. Dreyfuss said filming was terribly unpleasant. We did not get along, but I got to give it to him. I don't like him, but he makes me laugh even now. I'm jealous that he's even a better golfer than me. It's a funny movie. Nobody ever comes up to you and says, "I identify with the patient." They always say, "I have patients just like that." Mm-hmm, yeah. Identify with your character. Producer Laura Ziskin recalled having a disagreement with Bill Murray, which led him to toss her in the lake. Bill also threatened to throw me across the parking lot and then broke my sunglasses and threw them across the parking lot.
Lovely.
I was furious and outraged at the time. Having produced a dozen movies, I can safely say this is not common behavior. Disney actually had to hire bodyguards to assure that Murray and Dreyfuss were separated from each other while filming. The director, Frank Oz, recalled that it was a tense time shooting the film because Bill Murray and the writer and the producer and Richard Dreyfuss and me and Disney, although not so much Disney, they were more supportive, all heard our view on how to make the script better. It wasn't to be mean. It was just that everybody felt strongly about how to make the movie better, which caused a lot of friction and a lot of tension. And that's really all I remember. But he said it also caused the movie to be better. For the scene in which Bob accidentally blows up the house, producers used a 3/4 size model replica of the actual house that they blew up nearby. This movie ranked number 43 on Bravo's 100 Funniest Movies list, and it ended up being Richard Dreyfuss's and Bill Murray's favorite movie of their own. That's it.
Even though I hate each other.
Did you? Yeah. Do you have something you wanted to add to it?
No, I just know that like Dreyfuss is really difficult to work with, and Bill Murray is really difficult to work with.
Right. So the two of them together. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like Dreyfuss is prepared to a fault, and Bill Murray improvises everything and comes in late. And like, just,
so the two of them together must have just hated each other.
I can't imagine. And I know Dreyfuss now is like worse than he was then, and even then, I don't think he was that super to work with. And I like Dreyfuss. I mean. I like him as an actor.
We can love I love watching Chevy Chase movies, like, not all of them, but, I mean, like the ones that are great. I really like watching them. Though, when it's over, I go, man, I hate that guy.
He's horrible. He ruins people.
Even though I love so good, and we love him so much in this movie, but he's an ass.
So, I try to separate the art from the artist, like type of thing. In certain senses, like I really hate hearing how people are jerks. Who here's a wonderful man, and I'm very happy to hear it. Hugh Jackman.
Sure, yeah. I hear it's good.
Yeah. So, like, no, it makes me feel good to know that, like, I love that guy.
I want to do Enemy of the State because it's such a good movie. I actually own it on DVD.
Of the State?
Yeah, Enemy of the State.
Yeah. I think you said
it sounded like steak to me.
Oh, it went out. I said Enemy of the State.
Is that a movie about vegetarians? Like, what is happening?
Enemy of the State.
Fucking vegans.
Yeah, no, I got it. It's a good movie. It's fun.
Because you said Hugh. Who did you say? I thought you were saying Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman's an Enemy of the State, isn't he?
Right. That's what you said, though, right?
Yeah. And Will Smith.
Okay, all right. I'm not losing it. Okay. That's what made me remind me of it. I just didn't know if you said somebody else after that. Never mind.
Okay.
Are you ready for final judgment? Let's go.
It's time now for final judgment. Are you ready to rubber stamp this bitch? Here's the final judgment.
All right, it's time for final judgment, where we talk about how well the movie holds up. So it's about fact, not opinion, or opinion, not fact. We'll find out. All right, let's go with the resident curmudgeon.
Oh, all right, sure. So I would say, here's the thing. They don't make these movies anymore, so I don't know if that falls into the category of not holding up. They just don't make comedies. They don't make
it's weird,
comedies.
Though. It's got to have a comeback eventually.
There's got to be something that's just going to grab hold of everybody. I think people are getting kind of sick of giant budget, and they're really kind of longing for new ideas. I hear that's the big draw with this movie Sinners that's come out. Even though it's a Ryan Coogler film, it's a vampire movie with blues in it. It takes place in like the 30s South. Anyway, I digress. I think people kind of want smaller ideas and new ideas rather than just the same old thing. But anyway, bottom line is they don't make comedies like this anymore. They kind of are on Netflix, and even when they are, they're not great. They're not great. A lot of Netflix, just regular straight to Netflix movies that Netflix makes, they look good, but I don't know how good they are. They're always a little bit off to me. Like where theatrical movies are an A, Netflix movies are about a B minus. C plus at best. I just don't think they really hit all the targets. But bottom line here, back to this movie, it doesn't hold up. Yeah, it's still funny. I mean, it's still funny. I think it gets a lot of therapy wrong, like the way that they do therapy. People understand. This is back in the day when people didn't know anything about psychotherapy. No one knew anyone that was in therapy or under an analysis for mental health. And now that's everybody's concern now is mental health, and no one really bats an eye if you say, oh yeah, I've been to therapy or I go to therapy, or no one really says anything. It's not like something that's odd, right? So to that end, I think people can identify with that. I think the acting is really good. I think watching Dreyfuss unravel, he does it so well that that's entertaining. I think the fact how much these people accept Bill Murray is a bit of a stretch, but there's no movie without it. So it holds up. Yeah, I'd say it holds up. I can't say I was rolling around. I remember, again, I saw it in the theater. I remember laughing. I chuckled. So I guess that means it's good. Yeah, I'd say it holds up. Melanie, how about you? What's your deal?
I still laughed. So I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I don't know how to answer this. But yeah, I still laughed. And Ronnie goes, I don't want to watch this stupid movie. It's stupid. I'm like, it's not stupid. It's good. So then we watched it, and then he was laughing the whole time. So I guess it holds up.
Good. It passed the Ronnie test.
Yeah.
Ronnie, he likes it. He doesn't like anything.
Exactly. So yeah, he laughed. He was laughing the whole time. So.
Oh, good. All right.
Well, the acting is very good from everybody in it. Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss they're perfect for each other in this movie. As much as they hate each other, they're so good together in this movie. It worked out really good. Yeah,
I think so. And like it's short. Sometimes it doesn't really dawdle on anything. It just kind of keeps rolling forward. And,
it went by fast, and I feel like anybody would laugh at it. I think if you recommended it to somebody, they'd think it was funny.
Jake,
I'm going to say it holds up because I've seen people react to it as well, like on YouTube, and they are cracking up.
Yeah.
So I don't think it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't fall short. I think it's clean looking. It doesn't look like ancient.
Yeah, it doesn't look old at all.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you could look at the cars and go, oh, those are old cars, but that's not what I'm talking about. Like, it looks like it could be sort of today, like as far as its appearance, and it's fun. So I would say, yeah, almost anybody could enjoy this.
I just recommended it to somebody too, just like this week. So.
I don't think it's unknown. Even though it's older, I think a lot of people know what it is. It's an older film, but I think it's in the zeitgeist. I think people know what About Bob is. So
and it's a funny enough title too. Like it grabs your attention.
Yeah. And the wife is the one who kept saying that the whole time. What about Bob?
Yeah.
Like over and over.
Now I got to say, I want to say this. I've seen her over the years. She ages wonderfully.
She's gorgeous.
She just doesn't look old.
Like she really
she's Paul Rudd.
No, she's 69 years old now. Yeah. I mean, she looks very similar.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
she was so funny in Airplane. The Airplane.
How young is she in Airplane? My God.
That's what I'm saying. I know.
That's crazy.
She was like the main.
Like 20.
Yeah, the guy that developed his drinking problem. That was his girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So kind of
her voice
men too. I wonder if they were filmed kind of close to each other because she kind of looked like she did. When was Airplane? Because she kind of looks the same to us.
Okay. Yeah, 1980.
Yeah. Looks the same than that.
I know.
Yep.
Yeah. So
cool.
All right. Well, that was our show, everybody. Hope you enjoyed our coverage about What About Bob. And it's a lot of fun. And I'd like to thank Steve Lavoie for our vocal imaging, and I'd like to thank Draco and the Malfoys for our theme music. Let's get out of here before someone freezes again.
Yeah.
Because Melanie and Chris had both frozen moments, and it's not even cold outside. So. All right. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great week. And until next time, movies may not age like fine wine, but we drink it anyway. Bye.
Sounds like what we think about the movie. Film crickets, chirping about movie crickets, chirping about, chirping about, chirping about, chirping, chirping, chirping about film crickets, chirping about movie.